Hi guys, it's Thomas here, and today I will show you a deck that will enter the TCG scene in about a month and a half at the time of this video. Whitewoods or White Forest. Following the lore, we find Asteria, a younger Diabellstar, and Reset, a younger Diabellze, with their caretaker and sister. Now, the deck is based around monster that send spell and traps to the grave to have some effects, and the spell trap that once per turn set themselves on the field. We have Asteria of the White Forest that while on board can send a spell and trap from end or field to the graveyard as cost to special summon one light spellcaster tuner from the deck. So not strictly the level 4 Ursia and Sylvie, but technically there are also other targets like Effect Veiler. And while it's in the graveyard, if a spell trap is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can special summon this card. Next, we have Reset, that can send a spell trap from end or field to the graveyard to special summon herself from end, and then add a White Forest monster from the deck to the end, except herself. Also, if she's in the graveyard and a spellcaster tuner is special summoned to the field during the opponent turn, you can add this card to your hand. We have a couple of Piri Reis map as additional copy of Asteria, really, since Reset is an end effect, where at the start of the main phase 1 we can add one monster with 0 attack from deck to end, but half the life point. Also, after you add it, you can't activate the effect of the monster unless you normal summon it. Next, we have the tuner, level 4, the sister, Ursia of the White Forest, that can special summon herself if you control a White Forest monster, and can send a spell trap from the end or field to the graveyard to draw one card. If it's in the graveyard, you can target a White Forest Synchro you controller in the graveyard as a quick effect, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but negate its effect. Then we have the other sister, Sylve of the White Forest, that when a normal or special summon can add a White Forest spell trap from the deck, and if it's in the graveyard, much like the other sister, quick effect, can target a White Forest Synchro monster you control or in the graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon it, and negate the effect. These notably don't banish themselves. We have Pot of Prosperity as a nice tool to look through the deck, since this is a 2-card combo most deck, and you can banish 3 or 6 cards from the extra face down, look at the same number of cards from the top of the deck, take one of them, and your opponent takes half the damage for the turn. Also, you can't draw a card during the turn you activate this effect. Legend of the White Forest, that is their tutor, quote unquote, but needs a monster already on the field, unfortunately. If you control an illusion or spellcaster monster, add one White Forest monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. You can only use its effect once per turn. And lastly, Woes of the White Forest. Special summon one White Forest monster from the end or deck, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon one White Forest monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. This trap, notably, summons from deck and doesn't negate the effect. So, for example, we could special summon a Sylve and add a spell trap if we don't use her as material. Next, we have a supplementary engine, the toy engine, that serves as spell trap and fodder for the white forest effect. Toy box, once per turn. When an opponent monster declares an attack, you can send one face down card you control to the graveyard. Destroy that opponent's monster. This might be relevant to protect, for example, a Little Knight that your opponent is attacking to try to force it. Set to your spell and trap zone as spell up to 2 monsters from your end deck, face-up monster zone and or graveyard that have toy in their original names, and an effect to set themselves in the spell and trap zone, or destroy up to 2 cards in your spell and trap zone. Now, your toy target, are Toy Soldier and Toy Tank. Toy Soldier says, you can set this card from your end to your spell and trap zone as a spell. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this set card in spell trap zone is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one toy box from your deck to your hand, or if you control toy box, you can add a level 4 light monster instead. In the light monster category, we have Toy Tank, another Toy Soldier, or Sylvie and Ursia. And that's pretty important for the playstyle of the deck. Toy Tank says the same as Toy Soldier. You can set this card from your hand to your back row as a spell, and when it leaves the field, you can special summon it as a monster. You can tribute this card, special summon one level 6 or lower monster from the hand, or, if you control Toy Box, you can special summon one level 6 or lower from your graveyard instead. And since this is a synchro deck, you might require at some point a tuner or a non-tuner, and this can be both. And that's pretty useful, as you might think. Next, we have Entraps as a flex spot. Impermanence, better than the other in this deck in particular, because in a pinch you can send it as a spell trap, and an unsuspicious Vanadium Reframing that we need for Armitara. Now, let's see the extra deck. We have the White Forest Synchro, Ursiela, Wicked of the White Forest, 1 tuner and 1+ non-tuner monster. If this card is special summon, you can send one spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, add one White Forest card, or one light spellcaster monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Illusion and Spellcaster Synchro monsters you control gain 500 attack. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent card effect. A little nice sturdy effect on the destruction side, and the ability to add light spellcaster like Veiler. Adding a hand trap, if that matters, could be pretty cool. Silvera, Witch Wolf of the White Forest. If this card is special summon, you can change all face-up monster your opponent control to face-down defense position. Illusion and Spellcaster Synchro monster you control gain 500 attack. Also, if they attack a defense position monster, inflict double piercing battle damage. Another attack boost effect that put this monster pretty high by having both. And now, for last, Diabel, Findes of the White Forest. 1 tuner +1+ non-tuner monster. If this card is synchro summon using a tuner synchro monster as material, them, for example, you can target one spell trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send one spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon one level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. Now, if you want to special summon one from the graveyard or banishment, they have to have been properly summoned first. But from the extra deck you have no such problem. Now, these two synchro here, Reciela and Sirvera, don't trigger on synchro summon, of course, and you can trigger them when you special summon them with Diabel. We have some other synchro, of course. This deck is prone to making level 6 and level 8 synchro, and sometimes level 10. Other synchro monster we have here are a powered Insectron that says when it's synchro summon this turn it can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. Also you take no damage. This can be special summon with a formula synchron and a level 4 non-tuner or 2 level 2 non-tuner, and can be like our little Fuko to assure we will survive the turn. We have a Coral Dragon that is a tuner. It's destruction discarding card. It's a card draw. And we have a Muddy Madragon. Muddy Madragon can be used as a substitute for any one fusion material whose name is specifically listed on the fusion card. But the other fusion material must be correct. During your main phase, if you control this synchro summon card, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monster you control as fusion material, including this card. For example, it could be a Aleister the Invoker, since all the deck is light, the light monster isn't really a thought ask. And Makaba can be a monster negate, a spell negate, or if you hold an imperm in hand, it can be also a trap negate, and it banishes. We have also Visas Armitara that wants light monster. Interestingly enough, this can be made with two tuner. We could use a Sylphie and Arcia to make him. You're not required to use non-tuner necessarily. And the important thing here is, if it's synchro summon, we can add a spell trap that mentions Visas Starfrost from deck to end, reframing. And reframing is a Omni Negate to protect ourselves from Droplet, Dark Ruler, Heavenly, and even if it's somewhat of a brick, I think it's worth to play it. Of course, if you draw it, you can just discard it to your monster and add it back with Diabel later, without even summoning Armitara. We have a Formula Synchron that will be special summon with Diabel, and two Synchro level 10. Chaos Angel that can be special summon using light monsters and dark, of course, but we have light here, and makes all your synchro monsters unaffected by monster, and on summon can banish a card. And Blackwing Assault Dragon that can be special summon with a tuner synchro monster. We have a lot of those, and one or more non-tuner monster. It deals 700 damage to your opponent for every effect monster they activate, and every time it gains a black feather counter. During your opponent's turn, when it has 4 or more, it can destroy all cards on the field, including himself, of course. But the taxing effect with the possible board wipe can prove to be useful. Then we have some link monsters, Masquerena to make a Spiritual Knight during the opponent's turn, a Lina, and a Selene.